Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rival Esports. Welcome to the RLRS playing live here on the Rival Esports channel. We've had 128 teams playing out for the last 3 or 4 hours or so, all vying for one of the 6 spots that will be up for grabs in the Rival series today. I'm the Eternal J. I'm joined by Digital Bacon here on the stream for the first shift of the day. My man, how you doing?
I'm doing quite good here. We have got 7 series up here today for 7 qualifying spots. And right away, me and Jay, we're going to be taking the upper bracket. So the guys have not lost a single series yet. And I'm pretty excited for it because we already have our 8 teams locked on in. Jay, we've got the boys going up against RCD Espanyol. First on stream, then it'll be Awkward Turtles going up against We Dem Girls, followed by RJM versus Savet Geneva. And then last but definitely not least on our half of the stream is Block versus DCG.
Indeed, yes, we have quite a little bit of we have quite a little bit of action up for today, and I think for the most part the bracket has played out relatively sort of where we expected it to go. A couple of upsets that you were mentioning before we went live though, Bacon. So tell me a little bit about what's happened so far that we missed.
Well, just taking a look at the lower part of the bracket, for us, Savet Geneva is probably one of those teams which no one would expect to be making it through the upper bracket. Earlier on today, they took down 3 of a kind. I want to say probably like the 2nd or 3rd seeded team in the whole of EU. Alex161, Oslon and Blurry, they took them down in a 3-0 sweep, which is just absolute craziness right there. Looking elsewhere going down, RCD Espanyol had to take down Venki Gaming, which is a hard graft. Awkward Turtles making it past not only Little Giants, but Team WLF. And then, of course, We Dem Girls taking down Minx Gaming. So they've already had a couple of hard battles, each and every one of these teams, because naturally EU is absolutely stacked. But here, you're looking at the current top 8 contenders. And you've got to think, if you lose here, you drop on down to another qualifying spot. So we got teams like No Horizon, Exilium, Aeriality currently playing through that lower bracket. But these guys have a little bit of an upper advantage already.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it's not quite like it's the end of the world if they end up losing out on these games. You know, there is a little bit of breathing, as you mentioned, double elimination brackets. There will be a second chance for all of them. But to get into these early parts of things is obviously going to be a major sort of boost in confidence for these guys to prove that you were the best of the best who go completely undefeated in these matchups. So I guess we can just sort of start things off by getting into our first game. We mentioned it just a moment ago on stream. The boys taking on RCD Espanyol. Now, I know from previous conversations you haven't had much faith in the boys. I think I've had a little bit more stock in these guys. I know the results haven't always been there in the context of the bubble scene, like weekly tournaments and other tournaments like that. But so far, they've been doing really well so far. And up against SCD Espanyol, obviously from last season, they are known as a team that were in the rival series. But we're considering we have former RLCS talent, we've got former RLRS talent also in this boys squad. I think there is a potential that they could actually pull this one off. I'm actually going to go with them on this particular match.
Oh, I'm going with RCD. I'm just going to put that straight out there. But I think for me, the reason why I didn't have much stock in the boys was that it's a very late throw together team. You know, in the off season, a lot getting dropped from Mouse, Burrito from Method, and Calix winding up with the other 2, where he was trying out with other squads as well. So for these guys, it was very much good players, but haven't really had that time to put the chemistry together. But on the day, which we know with the playing, some people will hate the format, but some people will absolutely love it. You get teams that just on the day can perform out of their skins, and I'm hoping that's what we get to see from the boys today, because I've only been able to see them once in one series over the last, I'm going to say, month. So here, this is where it's going to be mad. And this is massive high pressure time. We saw last season, let's just take a lot on Mouse. 4 games to make it through to Worlds and couldn't do that. Burrito B, seemingly last season RLRS, having a little bit of a struggle, and Calix was fine bit in the lower ranks. So here, this is their sort of like, I'm going to say, redemption arc for them. Whereas on the opposite side, RCD Espanyol, Steak, Wolf, and Zarmwe are 3 fantastic Spanish players, all been in the RLRS as well. And here, this is, for me, I'm going to say, the closest matchup in our upper bracket, and it's probably the tastiest because you've got, I'm going to say, the old flames, the guys that have got tons and tons of experience, and then you've got RCD Espanyol on the opposite side, which many players, many fans at home might even count them. They make it through today as one of the top half teams in the RLRS.
Yeah, I kind of like the complexion of what this match has to give as well. You know, like I think that there is a lot of you know, obviously seeing these teams that haven't really, you know, shown up in the same sort of the region. Obviously, RCD making some roster changes as things go, and you mentioned the idea that Wolf actually might be in this match for the RCD side. Actually, no, they've got Tox in for this particular match. I know that they've kind of like messed with the subs a little bit over the course of the bracket, but. They've got Toxin, and Tox is a player that we've repped pretty hard. So, you know, although I am leaning to the favor of the boys on this one, although I am just like, you know what, this could end up being a boys matchup. Like, I would be remiss to say that RCD wouldn't put up a fight, you know?
Yeah, well, I think Tox is by far one of the strongest new contenders to the RLRS coming in this season. Before this off-season, I didn't really rate the guy, but the amount of improvement he's made in the last 6 months is incredible. And I think, quite easily, he's one of those lads to watch because he could get poached by an RLCS team next season.
Let's keep an eye, see if he can show his value right here. The boys in blue, RCD Espanyol out in the orange as we look for the first backboard play from Calix and Co. And Calix in particular falling his passing back to Burrito B is a little bit high and a little bit wide of the corner here. So returned over by the RCD lot. Calix try and hold his own back in the back lines here. Good passing plays from him so far, and all three players are up here. Ooh, that bump is not looking good right now. Early 30 seconds start looking a little bit messy from the boys out. No, not as accurate and not as coordinated as they would have wanted to. They'll still try and dunk down, but it will not work out for the moment here.
Yeah, decent amount of pressure. It's all going to come down to the rotations out into defense, how they're going to retreat back. This is tons of pressure coming out, but that miss from Zamway means that Stakes now got to just try and push it out to the middle, trying to allow this long shot to come out, and Tox is perfectly positioned back. Great little second touch there as well to get the counter and put the ball forward. I'm loving the little mix-up in flavor that you're getting right now from RCD, where they're just doing things a little bit off-key, and it is throwing the boys a little bit through a loop.
So far, so well here inside this corner once again. Tox passing in towards Stake. He'll take this high off the backboard down with a dunk, and that is a first scored by the RCD Espanyol side. And I have to say the difference between the passing plays between orange and blue half offensives have been very noticeable so far in the match.
And this is one of the things I was talking about with that chemistry. RCD have been playing together, absolutely scrimming every single day, putting the work in. And boys, we haven't seen them turn up in stuff like the skirmish, the drama alert weeklies, the nice cactus weeklies. They've been a little bit absent, and this could just come down to scheduling, unfortunately, but we haven't been able to get many results from them. And that bodes not so well for a team which really need to get those passing plays going, because RCD are going to be so heavy on pressure, so they're so fast that you have to pass your way out of defense.
Alex contesting off the ceiling, he'll go a lot. The pass inland towards Burrito B, that does set up a bit of danger potential. That being said though, it's returned from that midfield control of the blue half, so Calix up, contested, Tox to the backboard. That's off the crossbar, never mind. Alrighty then, 2-0 for RCD Espanyol. I think the boys backed off because they thought it was off the backboard as well, not to be.
Yeah, Burrito B with a backflip there. You can see he thought it was coming off that backboard. He's just going to allow Calix to run onto that ball, but unfortunately not. Tox with the bar down ski will get a goal. That's a 2-0 lead. It's going to be interesting for me now, Jay, to see what RCD do with that 2-goal lead. They're just going to try and hammer out third, or do they just hold incredible pressure and just keep the ball away from their side?
We're going to try and find something out here. Look at somewhere with the control beating out one. Couldn't get the second man. And Calix in the midfield will try and maintain some control at the mid-center. Only going so far though. Again, the intercepts and passing plays between Tox and Co are still looking good. As a lot comes in, Stake passes up, Burrito B bumping Calix out of the way. One of the talking points for him back when he was on Neffa was the fact that he wasn't always playing to the right sort of chemistry level. Showing up pretty big for the boys' side, but he still is able to contribute to a goal, scoring the first for the boys.
Yeah, double commit. Zamway trying to offer a helping hand. Stake left in there, right in the center. Hard as can be to save. Good little setup. It's always a classic sort of aspect of these Spanish sides, Jay, where that on-the-line defense can be a little bit wobbly if you slow it on down. The boys definitely bring it in close and doing that.
We're going to move up here from a lot's part, leaving Calix with a decent shot that is going to be put too far wide. Burrito B on the right-hand flank comes forward with 100 boost, trying to try and bump Zamway out the way, but Zamway still in position to save against Alot's quick shot here. Khalec's going to back up. He's going to have to do so as well. The defensive a little bit shaky from the boys, but they're holding true. Khalec takes it to the sideboard. Zamway goes up with his boost up. We're going to take this again to the backboard, beating out Alot. Second player's not going to be found. Burrito B finds the wraparound once again to the backboard. Burrito B up off the ceiling. Alot going to try and look for his shot in. We'll pass back to Burrito. Zamway passes back to Steak. And the orange half of the field again, just trying to take ball control away from the boys. These passing players will not be allowed to come to fruition as a result of it. A couple of good shots coming in from Tox as well from the left-hand side of the field. Burrito B there with a save, and the pressure, I think, it's certainly favoured the RCD Espanyol side, but only so many shots are being successful. The boys having a bit more of a better shot to goal conversion here.
Yeah, but you got to think, 1 minute remaining, the boys still need to find another easy read there for Zamway to get that ball out, keep this pressure downfield. Tox waited a little bit too long, but you notice that hit from Burrito B just hits it straight down into his opponent's end, doing absolutely nothing with that ball, easily dragged out by Steak, and Zamway looking for Tox. Great little connection there to get the ball downfield and create so much pressure. Easy follow-up from Zamway there. Burrito B read that well.
All up from Burrito. Khalec bumps out of the way. 30 seconds remain as they bounce inside the box. Alot puts it back off the backboard. Double commit, and that might almost be a shot. It hits the crossbar instead, but Tox has got an open net as they've all committed outside of that box. It's back to a 2-goal lead for RCD Espanyol. 3-1 up here.
And then these two teams, Jay, that is going to be game one done and dusted. 20 seconds to get 2 goals. Not impossible, but right now they're going to be looking to the next game. The boys, they've got to slow this ball down. They've got to just near enough dribble it up and down the field. Try and keep it really close-knit to them and pull that defense on out. Maybe a couple of fakes can be thrown on in as well, because right now what they're doing is not working.
Yeah, no, definitely not. RCD Espanyol having control from the word go. A couple of bright spots for the boys, but not enough to get anything major out of this first game of the series, Bacon. And a lot of the problems that you mentioned before seem to be coming out, you know, chemistry issues with Burrito B, bumping players out of that back line. That's certainly not something you want to see at this kind of a level, you know. You know, the boys as well, just their chemistry and shooting accuracy was also not on point. RCD Espanyol, the opposite, the polar opposite, I guess you could say. Just absolutely brilliant from them, you know.
Yeah, RCD were allowed to play their game, probably not as fast as they would like, and that's just down to them not having a team with great chemistry that are trying to play up to their pace. Instead, the boys were like in a weird, awkward middle ground. You notice a lot of the pre-jumps from them where they're trying to go in for these blocks, and they're a little bit sloppy and awkward, so RCD can't get onto it as quickly. RCD as well are trying to also focus a lot on that midfield control instead of just pushing it right down into the opponent's back line. So these two teams are just on completely different ends of the spectrum. The boys, a lot of improvements need to be made, and it's all going to come down to them changing their playstyle, whereas RCD are pretty damn comfortable at the moment.
Steak trying to try and kick things off the back of the kickoff with a goal. Tox and Co applying pressure, but unable to hold against the rotations of the boys. So early starts again for the RCD Espanyol boys. Tox wrapping back around to pick up the boost of the small pads and the big pads. I think the boys' side will continue to face. Zamway from this corner, flicks up against Alot. Burrito B will try and follow suit off the corner. Third player can't be seen. It doesn't matter because Zamway is going to chase us back down. Nice open net that Khalec will have to take a passive stance on. He's able to maintain control above it though, as Tox goes back to the backboard looking for his dunk down. Passes inland to Steak, not in position to go for the overall shot here. So RCD return back to their half. Backboard from Alot again is going to be messed over to the sideboard. Tox will take control in the midfield and only go so far.
Oh, and Steak now, look at all this space he's got. Khalec is just trying to jump on in, hold him his way. But these follow-ups, the shadow play coming out from Zamway there, absolutely fantastic. Tox with a launch downfield, a demo onto Khalec as well, and look at him handling this, trying to set this on up. Too close to the wall, unfortunately, for Steak. But everything that RCD Espanyol are trying to do is just create opportunity after opportunity. The boys not being able to stop it in its tracks. Khalec getting a very nice clear there, but Alot just demoed, removed from play. That launch towards net a little bit too early. Keep it on in close, Burrito B. Don't try and run before you can walk. Allow time for a lot to get downfield and then into place. That's how you're going to be able to hold onto that pressure, because right now it's a launch downfield and hope that you can find something down there. Whereas, look at the opposite end. Zamway going for the second touch. Unfortunately, needed a third. Stake not able to beat the post, the immovable object, too much for the Spaniard. But you gotta be thinking the boys right now, thanking their lucky stars. A lot getting a goal straight off a weird pop downfield.
Now, a lot taking control of this one. A very good challenge.
Damn, we're not expecting it at all.
The first being scored by the boys in this one here. Can RCD find the response? They've got a decent kickoff in the initial part of things, but it's returned so quickly and easily. A lot up and over. Samway into the midfield. Burrito B looking for a shot wide. Stake will take it up off the ceiling once again. Calix with the receiver. Stake should be able to defend against that, but no boost. Can't chase it back in on the challenge from a lot. The same with Burrito B, all the same. Tops backboard. Samway with the connection. And RCD do find the response.
Ooh. A lot tried its darndest, and it was a good idea to put it out to corner to a teammate, but that quick hustle coming in from Tox to block it on out, tease it up perfectly for Zamway, and that is a beautiful finish. An equalizer as well, near enough at the halfway mark. RCD, they might have slowed down a little bit in the first half, Jay, where they got maybe a little bit overconfident. But now they're firing it up, and I'm liking that from a lot there. He's trying to go back into his old ways of just being a massive nuisance downfield, and that could be an answer here. It allows the other two, Calix and Burrito B, to be a bit more safer defensive players. It's an interesting little mix-up right now.
All up, Stake trying to take control as Tox goes demoed out. Zamway, 32 points of boost from this corner. Stake sets up Zamway as well. Is he going to be able to chase this? Oh my goodness! The fake from the orange half to the blue. Zamway not even needed. RCD back in control.
You say Zamway not even needed that bump, Jay. I don't know if that was everything or not. Could he have got the ball? Who knows? In a parallel dimension we might have found on out, but here today the bump stops any potential save and gets the second for RCD Espanyol, who just keep going from strength to strength. Calix not able to get the touch. Tox on a good run. Brilliant on those 50-50s. Still moving downfield, trying to be a nuisance. The problem is he's only got Stake in net right now. This is 3 players all going for it. Stake, though, being able to pick up off that miss here.
Burrito with the back pass to the backboard. Zamway is able to save it this time. Passing back over to Tox. Calix will try and contest it up Burrito B, who back passes to no man's land. The lot will try wrap around 74 points. The boost goes up and off to the backboard. Oh, no! He gets the shot in! 1 second touch, that's all you need. 2-2, we're all evened up.
Just a block here, Jay, right on the line. Zamway into a lot, and he played him like a fiddle. Equalizer for the boys, 2-2, 1 minute left. Maybe a golden goal scenario right now.
Zamway taking the kickoff front here, trying to set up a quick counter-attack to the RCD Espanyol side. If they can get this one in, they'll keep this game going. Calix wraps up, Stake in over to the corner ball. Burrito B up, bumps out Zamway, but no second player to follow suit, so no offensive that amounts to a shot here. Tox wraps around, beats out Burrito, challenges on the second man. And Stake, the sideboard to the backboard. Calix will contest, but it only goes so far for this one. Burrito B comes up, again challenging, not getting the bump in, so Tox gets his own control. A lot goes up off the box, looking for the dunk down opportunity, but not to be. Burrito again challenges, and RCD finally feeling like they're getting a bit pressured here in their own back line. A lot looking for another chance, but the defensive holds true for the moment. Burrito again to the backboard, sets up Calix. Zamway blocks it. Burrito wraps around with control, flicking past one. The demo's in, but Zamway stops it as the lot get out and back into the corner. 10 seconds remaining, and it looks like we'll have our first overtime of the stream cream here baking. The boys finally putting up a decent fight against RCD Espanyol.
The boys have really picked up their predictions, Jay. Notice how they're getting in those blocks and holding on to the midfield. Not only that, they're also trying to go for those bumps, those demos. There's a bump! Not a demo, but a goal. Stake going to be moving us to 2-0 and on to match and qualification point for RCD Espanyol.
The second time that Zamwe has managed to bump the defenders out of the way in that blue half. And that is enough again to put RCD, as you mentioned, on match and qualification point here. The boys have struggled throughout this one. They have really been pressured in that blue half.
Right now, you gotta be thinking, what is going through the boys' heads? How are they going to counteract this? It is all feeling like whatever they do is not good enough, is it, for them, Jay? And they've been up in their game so much. Like I said earlier, those predictions are so much better. They're able to counteract a lot, but it's just, once it's that one man left back in defense, it is not good enough. They need two players. They need that strategy of Calix and Brita B always back, because RCD Espanyol is so quick, so aggressive, that they see one player back and they just think that it's a sitting duck, you know?
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of like emphasizes the point that we mentioned earlier about the about sort of the team play of the boys. You know, I think you mentioned about the chemistry of these teams sort of being thrown together last second and how that can affect sort of like a rival series run or the general sort of form of a team as a whole. And I think that's sort of coming to fruition here. RCD look like the formed up unit. The boys look like three players who are just kind of, as you mentioned, thrown together at the very last second. So, game 3. And if RCD take this one, it will be qualification for the boys in orange. It's Tox over to the corner. Calix holds his own. Zamwe teed up. Burrito B trying to receive this, but it's blocked at the very last second by the last RCD Espanyol player. Tox up and over. Dunked down from a lot. Blocked off by Zamwe directly on the line. And again, RCD Espanyol just have an answer for almost everything the boys throw at them.
Yeah, but it was definitely a sweaty scenario for a second. Tox, nice patience there, and he's even got a second block through to send it to the corner, showing that you don't need to go straight onto the aggro. You can wait for your opponent to come into you, and Lot being able to keep this to the corner as well. And he's got to try that so much now, because the boys are going to be so low on boost here, Jay. They've got to be so careful. I like the idea of the pass out to Calix there. Unfortunately, it's too telegraphed. Easy the read.
Too slow from Burrito as he tees this one up against the last defender. I knew he goes past that. A lot with a bump play, but Calix not quite set up with a shot. Burrito B is, but Tox given enough time again. Too slow to capitalise on the disruption. He gets in, puts it out. Good shot coming in from Calix. Follows suit all the same of the pinch of the backboard. Tox will go up to the midfield, and Stake goes back to the backboard for the moment. No goals being scored. A bit of a back and forth ping pong style, but RCD looking for control in this blue half. They will demo out one. Stake comes up. Tox going to try and wrap around, but Calix has his own control. Trying to beat out two defenders, only goes so far as one.
Yeah, but what he did there, Jay, was slowed the play down. Notice now that RCD Espanyol weren't in position to pick up. A little bit of a miss hit, but Brita B can clean up on it, which is good. That is an easy 50-50 from Stake. A lot keeping this ball up in the air, but what option does he have there? None. He just has to do a little flyby, hand the ball on over, try and steal some boost, and hope that one of his two teammates can get into position. That's a decent 50-50 to find open space, and that gets the ball down to the boys' end.
Burrito up. Stake and Tox looking around. Calix contesting. Stake sets up Zamwe for a backboard play. Stake there to receive it on the redirect. Can only take it even further to the right. Could not go for the shot direct. Block goes up. Zamwe contesting. Calix puts it back. Ooh, Tox with a dunk, and Zamwe finishes it off. There we go. First on the board for the RCD Espanyol side. Tox just lurking inside the box. Kicks things off in game 3.
Yeah, the problem right now, RCD cannot get comfortable. There's only one goal, and on the opposite end, the boys, don't try and let nerves take a hold of you. You're all experienced players, but look at Stake there. Absolute class from him. Defender just getting that touch in the end, but look at that defense, Burrito B. good recovery, but that was a whiff and a half to start things off.
Can't get a touch on a ball that basic and inside that box. What hope do you have on the defensive? Things are looking very, very suspect for the boys. As Tox goes back to the backboard, Burrito does get his touch in this time. A lot takes it to the sideboard. Tox takes this one high. Burrito B back into the center line. Calix contesting Zamway. Beating out all the same, and Tox puts it up for Zamway as well. He's able to receive. Can he pass it back to Stake? Yes, he can, but Calix gets up in time and just blocks it up. A little under 2 minutes to go as well. RCD leading by a single goal, and again, they're on qualification point. The Stake holds from the sideboard, dribble up, trying to beat out Burrito B, but Burrito again gets a good touch in to block it off. Stopping us at the very last line here, but that might not be good enough. RCD just continuing their pressure.
I'm massively worried right now for the boys. Some little signs of desperation kicking on in, where they're jumping for the ball when they don't really have the correct amount of boost to be able to make connection. A lot not quick enough to get on that one. Tox the 1-2 and a second goal. 117 up on the board. The light at the end of the tunnel is just getting a little bit dimmer for the boys.
Well, Tox in, there you go, 2-0. And unless something miraculous gets pulled out, unless the boys completely change their confidence in line, we might be looking at RCD in another season in the rival series. Vamos for the Spaniards. Calix, the shot in, Zamway able to block it. Calix wraps it around, gets the quick touch on no points of boost. Stake goes up with 60 seconds left. They're going to try and carry this forward alongside Zamway all the same. A lot up and over. Calix in, and a lot takes control from this corner. Tox, also no points to boost, demoed out by Calix. He takes control alongside Burrito B, beats out Stake. Zamway should get beaten all the same. Tox is in position, picks up the 100 boost. Puts it over to the sideboard. Burrito B passing up to a lot. Zamway just gets his touch in. A lot again trying to chase this one up. Burrito B trying to play distraction, but Stake still pushes it out of the way. So, pitch! Oh my God, well, that seals the deal at this point. There's no way the boys are getting back.
Oh. And Twitch chat, can we get 28 seconds of silence for the boys? Because with that, all hopes of going through in the upper bracket at least have just fizzled away. What a play to cement yourself into the RLRS.
Well, there you go. There's not much you can say after that. Like, if the scoreline wasn't already indicative of them taking the win, this one consolation goal will be taken by Calix, but it's over. There's no way they're getting 2 goals in 7 seconds. RCD Espanyol have sealed the deal.
What a series from RCD Espanyol, Jay, because look at this, 7 seconds left. The boys right now, heavy hearts, how close they were, but like we said, they do move down into a qualification match, and they're definitely a strong side for that. But RCD Espanyol, fantastic to have them back for another season. Tox, Zamway, and Stake, incredible plays. Zamway's reads, we have to say, those interceptions are crazy. Tox with his control on the ball, just his aggressive striking nature is incredible. And Stake moving more into a third-man position. It's just cemented as the team's captain. This is such a strong contender for upcoming league play, Jay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that my own faith in the boys has dwindled a little bit. I guess you were right in this one here, Bacon. Apparently, the RLCS and RLRS experience has not come to help them out today. They will, however, be in the lower brackets and have a second chance later on during the day. We'll see if they can appear later on stream. For now, though, we're going to go to a break because we have the Awkward Turtles taking on We Dem Goals, the top seed, the favourites in this bracket, up on stream after this.